ebre entie emu ensema. I'll say, come what may, the highs and the lows. Well, this life will be hard, but you and me will not be. And when the waters rise and we face the fire, we'll rest in our foundation, hand in hand on our knees, nothing between us, only you and me and Jesus. It talks about a relationship that has tension, that has struggles, that has conflicts. But then, in the midst of this tension and conflicts, our ebusuafo your madrin say, near Besibiano, Ebeka Womo, and Yesu Christo. Sampai boy, and a messer so ama will say, wabusuamu asetena no na ebesi biara ewiase betumi adane ne ho akobamkum ne nifa nanso wone ho kafo wone okunu yire wone wo ma wawofo se ye wa abusua kese mu ofie se ye ne enua no mo ye ne yasafo ma. It will always be you and me and Jesus. And so welcome to this evening's episode of our whole program on the theme Love's Little Annoyances. And tonight I'm talking about empathy and tensions. See, idea who a share ubiti biabimu, any apare prayer a war odomo, ana ebusia asetenemu. Now, me bon empire say, Tredian Ponyanko Pombe Kayin na yahu, na near mebia, a hinter yen shadam fire dream and cosono. Onu Nyankopon atwe adwen esiso na ne esisi ejemu wasan boya ma yejemu na ne esisi yesomu nso no twede ampo Nyankopon nya adom na yensomu sa se na ebe ya ewiye no eni nyumtini nso beka se ebeka yen eni yahokafo eni Yesu Kristo bebi a wono se ha adwen na wo kataweni ne eyeye dia mese na ne me abo empaye Onyankopon enyumrei ebra ye dawase soronko no na ye de adwen ko akyede ba ko bi a wo de kyeye a eni kuhu pa eye wodo anamfo eye ene namfo gro a wo de sie yakomabo wona wo di kan celebrate this fellowship and your Yesu eba wenim na se ye de aseda kese e de eba wenim ye beda wasea na ye sresa wo besan ama ye ntiase wo besan ama ye hunumu e ma akyede a wo de ma ye betim dia ye adwuma hye wo din kunkun ene onyamo enyumrei yede ya warrior ebusuemu nsem ya nyonkofa ya safu mu etna ya adwuma eyemu baby biara eni nipa dinkita hudie Kristo sankita hudie no ene yede shem sase bibi ehunta ye na ema enigi MP wo mu no Onyankopon anka obeyi na di akyere wasan son ase na yetumi apon ye ho efiri ho Onyame tumfo yesre ebi wasemu de bia wonnam nsira kese so kronkron ye ne tenene adom ye hu mobro odishirae ejenyumere ebra ye bi wasem masa nshira we ni na nkambo mu na fa edware ye na fa gu ye nso e wonyame eja oba ani wonyame ho konkom di mu amen amen. So empathy and tensions say wode wo ho ehye wodofo bi tibia bi mu wode wo ho hye oba bi tibia bi mu wode wo ho ehye wawofo tibia bi na wo dwen tisese na nka wo dwene na omuhu wiase no nso hu wiase tisebo mo na no ekobasa na yetumeti ye ho ase pa ayi em say ye hye ye dwumadi ase fiti kwesi ada nyema ya boboso na ye apre nketi bia yense na mfa ya dwen enkoso nenso etumi di o how bebre ba ye busua mu na saa nema ya ka ho bi ensempa na mepese me de saa tensions yi ehya ase se me ka tensions yi a yenim sa aware bia wentwi wo mu me nteme ho ase. So when I talk about tensions, I'm referring to the strains and the scratches and the hurts and the frustrations, conversational breakdowns and connection challenges are yawari. Minim se na obe define na dey, but the me person what here say says wentwi me nteme ho ase boso na boso na edu de bia na yete ho no e prepra yensem e prepra yen dofo bi yen ma yen awofo kasentwie ebi enimtie buo bi a yadwen enya nko so mempene twaso kamanutum mintie ene se memfa ho nka me mempɛ saa niema esisi ewo relationship mu no ya ware mu no eno na enyumre me pese metwe ya dwi esiso na saa tension we no aware bia
cover okon na wa eche
emre bia saa niema we ena ma waware eye unique. Well, the difference between aware a enije ewo mu ene aware a enije nim no, the difference na enye se saa aware na ekoyi no eno no imaginary aware no tension ni mu, but the difference is that tension no eba tension is capable of brewing in every marriage, but then couples in healthy marriage, you know, they tend to productively find solution and find a way to navigate the tensions. But wana omawari SS no die ubehu se tension eba na tension ama watete wontem, whereas enkofu bi use tension enya enkabom so nko no enkrofo bi awafo ebusuefo bi the tension ni apre make ho asem enam so ema wontem tete ekora na saa tension a ye ken egumu a wuro bebre ewe ebusuemu egumu a wuro bebre wo enamfo yemu egumu a wuro bebre wo nkitahodie mu na me pese me bobo mako bi so ba kon ye intimacy tension won say ye be ware ana ye wo ebusuemu a yewo enfemfam ho a yede ye ho efemfam ye ho titu awarefuo mu wode wo ho bata wo ho de dum miri bi a ekowie mpaso agodie mu a onyame ehira so but de dum pompon so bi a kwan a obi fa so edwen se oyire ne dwen se empaso agodie ne bekon amano no enkosa amano kwan a okunu begyen se oyire be dane ne ho de akere no ebi ho a enkosa amano nti obehu se obi anyi ye obi antwimfa obi aso but obehu se na afeedie obi ahyehyɛ ne ho te sɛ akokɔ a ɛno American obi aso no so no ayɛ boson not wo no ɔtwɛn as was set trap na wonim na bɛtɔ saa trap di mu pɛ wehu amane kwan a obi pɛ sɛ ɔde ne ti atu ne kunu so ɔde ne nan ɛto ne yere so ne yere benya adagye ɛde ama ne saa na ɔne no abɔ nkɔmɔ no saa tebia no enkoso saa ntubo nse na edi epufuo aba edu me bi a trust tensions nso tumi build pa ewo fie trust tensions say bi to say yes suspect you say unya ukunu a obefa nachi oyere suspect you ukunu suspect you say unya na obefa nachi ti na otetetew suspicion etumi de nsemba jealousy enso tumi de nsemba obi tumi didi bi achi saa minim enkrofo bi a ade asore kra no and the yere echo join kwa the voice nya den so no akọ join kwa ni bi because o tete na yere so na yere fa damfo pe no afa ne bi ni kunu fa damfo pe no afọ so saa akọ join ku no afa damfo bi when these trust tensions are there, this is why and how we behave the way we do. Sometimes what we use time for can be another tension, time tensions. Well open free time o yere ukunu jane say senior wonya free time no exercise free time no only ba ebusua align time a we ko adwuma mu nsem ebi wa na de adwuma nsem ni bi kra ba fie sa time no anka ye ebusua time no na ye ka adwuma asem ye ka ebusua foforo asem ye ka ndipa foforo bi asem adamfo bi ho asem. We never have time to talk about ourselves, and that can be time tensions. Sometimes tensions ni be external maka adwuma mu nsɛm a yɛde ba fie ɛna bi wɔ ha namfo yɛn nsɛm a yɛde ba fie ɛna ne kɛseɛ paa wɔ yɛn bibrifoɔ mu ebusua tenten mu nsɛm a yɛde ba fie. You see wo yɛ warefoɔ no sɛ wɔanhu sɛnea wobɛtumi a navigate between nsɛm a efi wɔ busua tenten mu wo nuanom nsɛm wo ɔfaase nom nsɛm wo papa no maame nsɛm na wanhu saa asɛm no kwan a obefa so navigate na de bia no ebusua a wo ne wo yere ukunu ne wo ma ete ho no ehon na as ebusua no only lives to serve the interest of wo ebusua tenten dia at the tensions of beba. Sometimes change, not all of us can embrace change or are in favor of change anytime. Sometimes some of us it takes us a long time to adjust and ebasana change threatens threatens the very existence of our being. And most of the time, no, yampe changes are. And you do the be na couple baako and now worry ni baako kunu ano yere. De bia no hwehwe nkwa nimu yenye bibi foforo yenye sei yenye sa na baako ezo yento ye bokakra ebedum biribi no change the enwane tension so ebeba meka changer ebi wo ha ase okunu ye adwuma bi eso change adwuma no ye adwuma foforo o change adwuma ne pe the time na nka ebusua no ye used to no after almost a time na asesa we need about a year or two to readjust ourselves to that new time. Oyere a switching eduma bi and also sa emma ye 12 in one neighborhood akwa another neighborhood. Oyere nim say parking na nya agro okunu nim say sa he say obenya car no afa car afia two car kofa niema park no enya agro say ebe ko dan nim ye ba kohwe dan nim nsem nyina no onim say ba dan so enje no so nya agro emma so oma forming namfofo ne class kakra e wo zip code bi. And say we to feel another place that can another zip code. No, the BR person obey new B. It was school for BR. They BR or no a new B. That they BR say or no the oba and chair. People are resistant to change. And you say, oh, she be whenever there is change, there's bound to be a change tension. Sometimes also, ya wo yenjume die bia ye de ato ye ho so and a busuanim say ye ne die. So when neglect our responsibilities now, and the neglect tensions so ba eduma bi asudie bi a ebusua nyina yenim se radio kunu na eye ebusua nyina yenim se oyere na eye ebusua nyina yenim se emma ana awofo na eye but time ni bedu a ye hwehwe se ye be ye no na ye nye and also to me the neglect tension. But when you neglect your responsibilities, when you neglect to do your duties, when the family depends on you to survive, and it gets to that point, now you say, you should be sure, say, neglect tensions, oh, parenting star. Obi wa ya teteno ya de kosua kra mana ya se obeye kromfo nti mani di kosua mu ene ya America ha ya de kosua de akra no kra ba kofa na de obe bie ni fridge ma kofa na de achina de dada oh parent ba ko yes no atia no dabi twaso jai na ba kwan so ohun so ja no sa o yes no de sua fi ade ye parenting star kwan ya fa so tia mofra kwan ya mfa so entia mofra tamese se mofra da entare ya se mofra hye TV program obetumi ahwe time as we use mobile phone the obetumi the computer personal computers are. Somebody may want to be authoritarian, somebody will want to be laissez-faire type of, and it's our class it to me back and also the parental tension abefi expectations me the kind boss over 2 nights ago say kwai awfa so be ware no adwen ne botaye nti ana esi wani so be ware no ebia wo ba ware say ube pe adamfo obi obetena won 24/7 afei dia woni we yere ana wukunu mashasi abobra 15 years down the lane and do the biana say you are suffocating him or her with your very presence okobe bia na udi nachi okojade a wunie opie okoshe backyard a wunie okobwo shuru so a wanim nie afei de obo say no ntakuna say tete when expectations are not met. When there are differences in expectations, we read in the Nimusha, now read in the Chizwasha. At the end of the day, no, at the assembly, and we call that one expectations tension. Oh, why wouldn't him say, I did a boss of Cassia, Sika ye moja, Sika, and yet Nipo moja and Kwana you. Relationship moja and so, a Sika can a Bible can't me say Sika, solve every problem. Money is a solution to all problems. And a Bible canon. It is out here, sir, Sikasemi, to me the same baby, but whenever one of the couple or even family member feels to say another person or another member of the family is misusing or abusing trust their mom in finances, I feel the same baby about. And we can have financial tensions also. Communication also can be a problem anyway. Kwanya faso kasa. The emergency walker. And then ya memete any kwaya mefa so eyiwa no and also to be the same bebre eba the oje say memeka ya mama nka ne sa and na the memeje say wo beka wo anka ne yi and oton na wo de kasa ye any kwaya afa so twen wo nsem bi mu wo de stress si nsem bi so ubu maniti ebi wo de to share me kakra was scanning make a crabra now wakasan. So communication attention so it to me the back. When I feel say what I am saying is not being carried across, and when you feel what I'm saying also I do not understand that. I feel the obos are the same degree, but I feel men can say your personal space. So in every relationship, we need to give time for ourselves. Okay, we need time for ourselves. We need to be us. Or be friend at the me time. In the course of Yankasai. We need personal space. But when your personal space is invaded, okay, and I can say, we are so restroom, okunanimnie, or yedanimnie. We are so daka cra, or kodakra, hey, odona unti assembly by, assembly crano. Some pekres obo tinko, if you say, yeah, can't say much. Wouldn't him now call who's teach see a samaba. This is a nyabe 2 weeks and Sunday Johnny case in our court. Na ya can't want some. Also, penisa is that now we be see and how I and can we have a red light. So this time, all drink. And Juba say, what you want to drink, one casawa, brabumus, and some no, you are giving time to assess yourself, to examine yourself. You know. That is where family responsibilities come knocking. And it's like uni vacation. And I know obi asema okachere was also for na say your school your eduma kra your pon bafie and just me bafie na sem bedwo me ho na me kunu de ensem bi be hamadua na me yiri bi de ensem bi be hamadua. When do I have break for myself? When do I think about myself? Sir, personal space, you know, it to me the tension, but when it is not giving the primacy as and when it's needed. So you have personal space tension. Now we have cultural and religious tension also. Of course, cultural. No? I mean, can you see? Yeah, ma, one maya who come for you see the barrier here. And sometimes now for mom paye if he says sometimes and easy. When you have been born and raised in a culture, then you move all the way because your parents wanted a greener pasture. Normal movie from what you used to know, how you have adopted your friends and your friends of early years. Life in goes in aspiration in an assessor. Then you come to another culture, all right, another culture which is entirely different from yours. And over time, with time, you need to find a way somehow to adapt to the present culture. And our culture now we're adapting, then you do not fit into it well. So whereas other people have one cultural background, you have three. You have the one you came with from Ghana, you have the one that you came to meet here, and you have the one that you are fitting in, which will probably be a blend of Ghana American culture. Okay, and sometimes say these things are still going on, and we're finding our balance and bearing. Sometimes it builds internal conflict within ourselves. Now, sometimes, you to mean control, near pour on the other person. Once a year crack now, what does a woofy Ghana buy? So be fee a tiffy, or be fee a puye, no more cabo mawar and a cry, and quite in some baby. Oh, will be to me call Asoria, and your SDA, will be to me call Methodist, will be to me call Presby, will be to me call Pentecost, will be to me call Assemblies of God, Roman Catholic Church, or don't you know Mako Shia, no Mako worry, or Moko warrior, tied to any problem. Time I first bomb pie bed than a problem. Empo, so we be a you bet me yen contract for, but the way our parents are so close to pastors. Now worry, no, the parents in the background, they saw the pastor as a sanctified person who should always be let alone and keep a distance. One year, the way I appreciate the church in Yemen, so our spouse may not also appreciate the things that way. Ekotua taita ebedani asem ye rezi ma omunko SD school and omunko SD school ebedani asem. And there are many points of tensions, and these are few ways by which these tensions, tensions are making one. They are the strains, they are the scratches, they are the hurts, the frustrations and conversational breakdowns and connection challenges. And a robbing end of the joys that we have anticipated in our relationship. And when our anticipation do not come as we want, when they are set aside or sidelined, it breeds tension. And these tensions can be manifested in several ways. Now, one proven way scientifically that can help us to resolve the tensions, the inbuilt tensions in our relationships. Empathy. That is a single word that is pregnant with solutions to tension. Now, me ka empathy. Minim say na wadwen be ye wo. Well, say ya ka empathy na. Brofo kasa ni mu no. Na ye de atoto compassion and sympathy. Compassion and sympathy. But compassion and sympathy are not synonymous to empathy. Why am I saying that? See, I can say sympathy. Sympathy means to say, ujina obi nchen ena onipa kono efa or how. Sympathy, you are suffering alongside that person. Ujina nchen, otwembe no. And one say a year ba musufo wuo de nsabe tu bi so be tunu efi abusuemu a. One say omo say all sympathizers are cordially invited. Mumbra na mumejina ye nchen na yendi areho. And your compassion. Now, Jesus Christ use the best image of compassion. Compassion is a who be mobile, tin you, who ne mobile. The situation now a woman, who ne mobile. Now who are on top of the relationship because dynamics. Then be a problem, on back comes below your status. And you nipano or you're under your status, who are upper hand in the power relation, who use your power to make sure say when the you bring a solution to one problem. And it is more of a superior inferior relationship. And Jesus Christ was supernatural. Jesus Christ was a body, and a body. And today be a daubenante as isu obi tibiano na Yesu Kristo yema hyehye no amasa nipa no wa yebribi I am hyehye na nya no nko. That is the first point of call. The second step follows say Christ will do everything in his power to relieve that person or alleviate the person from what the person is suffering from. Na me gidi say and the Kristo eni enchen hunam but no obi biara wa rewo eja na yem hyehye no e wo ye ho. And that is what compassion is. Now, so make sympathy, make empathy. Empathy is putting yourself in the person's situation and imagining the person's suffering, woes and sorrow and sadness as the person who experiences it. So you enter into the person's world and you see the world through the person's eyes. You feel the world through his feelings, and then you think about the world through the person's thoughts, whilst at the same time you maintaining your personality. So this is what we're talking about as empathy. And so I have to look at it as a respectful understanding of what other people are experiencing. I know that the feeling is not mine. So differently. I could have used my discretion to do one thing or the other. Obi na de na to no de osun edida form ebi anka me nsu but me mfa de anka me maye wo the situation no me mfa yi na tan na mo me de me ho be hye ne shoes mu stay ready e na yawo ade wi a sister ACL come ho asem die e na ahye ne pa me ngo gina sister eji nse nchen say oh sister AC and I know say wo kwa sorry o want the pastor kan jai manenka debio because I am here anka me jai manenka sa me from holier than thou attitude being kojina n'animo and you so me prejudices and from me deep rooted perceptions or your ba e ma de muntumi continue areho already or your bema or your dada ba na tete no fan social muda na me judge ne sa na beba na no ye ofa ne hudie ene de onso boy aboabo ne yie me nkasa I will make space for them, allow them to express their feelings and their thoughts. I will allow them to experience the world the way they deem fit, whilst at the same time being there for them and looking at life from their perspective. And that is what we mean by empathy. It holds the solution to the tensions. There's so many tensions that brew in our marriages. So okunu for once, ebe tu ne boase. Now, or the Nehuash and the Yiri shoes. Why are Neyire speaking the way she is speaking? Why she is thinking the way she is thinking? Why she is feeling the way she is feeling? If only you could pause for a while and walk in the person's more presence, you will understand. So, Yiri to me at Tunebo, ama ya kyerɛkyerɛ ne mu ne kunu no atu anammɔn baako mmienu mmiɛnsa ne na nante na awerɛhodie ne mu a anka problems bebrebe a anka wɔyɛ awareɛ mu no anka atu atwa sɛ ɛma bɛnya abotrɛ ɛde wɔn ho ahyɛ wɔn awofoɔ situation mu na wate awofoɔ ase why they speak the way they do, why they think they are yelling when they are not yelling, why they want them to go to school, why they want to raise them the way they want, why they want to bring them to what they lack in life, and so make them proud because they say, "Omo di omo nsa anka no, omo pese omo yemba." Say, "Emma benya daje tie awofo a, anka awofo bebree die no nyam bema wo Nyankopon." So awofo bebree benya time etie mofra one predicament, one situation that we in this information-based economy, or the one we will not be quick to judge. When we say you are full of empathy, we mean that you don't treat people with your prejudices, you don't treat people with your deep-rooted negative perceptions, you don't treat people with a judgmental attitude. You make space for them. You make space for their feelings. You make space for how they perceive the world. You make space for how they want to be loved. You make space for how they want to relate to other people. Now, so we make it space. MOB doesn't mean that you endorse what the person is doing. It's just to tell the person, say, I accept you. Come and let us reason together. But most of the time, we are so quick to judge. Most of the time, we don't have time to listen. See, you bet to me, in your empathy, all the conflicts and the tensions that we have, they will be eliminated from our relationships. And so, empathy brings understanding. Se minya daje ma mi kunua. Se minya daje tie me ma. Se minya bre ema ma wofo a me ti won ase. Afide mitumi ka say odofo ma mi mbusa wase mo. When we say empren dodo a we pre wo ho and jump to conclusion ebufuo ba de. But say wo to bo ase din na mo settle ebufuo na menim say empren bebre wa kan say na say wan kire me ase esa. Man ti ase esa. Say unya empathy na e de ho se obi shoes mu a sansem na embabiem anka minya na anka meto me bo kakra sa anka meto me bo kakra eno na empathy kire wo say aya to bo na tie efise nipa nyina anya wo nipa nyina wa adwen foforo okunu wo yire se nya wo dwen no enya sa na wo dwen o ma no wa wofo se na wo dwen no enya sa na wo dwen. Now communication also will be smooth because their message say make ka kire wo ene their message say what no a different from their wo what ewo me kasa mu ene kwan a won so wa kire ase afa enti kasa no uyi ano a aya na different. Say ye the empathy bebo ye mbra odofo ye betumi abonkomo yie ye beti ye ho ase yie na afedie we will be heading towards the same direction. Say eba say menti me ho ase bi ba empathy wo ho a ento bo ase enti no ye tumi solve your conflict and your tension. Afa tumi ma ye tumi nya emotional support e ma ye ho odofo ade bi anywhere ye kama wo wi ase say okunu bi benya hotoso e wani yiri mu bibi anywhere ebro enti ase ne anigye wa asase so say oyiri bi benya hotoso e wo ni kunu mu sa emotional support say ewiase ni na yi utotwene a ukunu wo yiri e wo homa wo no sa feeling no e ye feeling na bibi e wo wiase bia untumi fa entoto na it builds trust and so say ye tumi twere wo ye de ho to wo so o ka se ye hwe soro a ye hwe soro ne ye hwe fom so a ye hwe fom ma ne ye etumi ma ye nya ye ho arehyiemu etumi ma ye nya ye ho didie odofo say wo pe solution dia o bom paye na wo kom paye a ka kire onyankopon say twedia mpo onyankopon fill me with empathy for my wayward daughter, empathy for my wayward son, empathy for my non-caring parents, empathy for somebody who claims he loves me, she loves me, but practically I know it doesn't happen. Actually, when you me pay empathy. Say the empathy sum nyame wa asoria or software ni a software anyway busuya beti asafo maase na asafo manso beti or software ni busuya ase. Say the empathy echo church board meeting na ye beti ye ho ase e board meeting na ye mfi nyame fie emfa ntokwa nkofie. Say the empathy betna ye pius mu ewo asori dem a onyame honhom besane every say and no na be kire nipa say ye tete ye ho ase ewo odokwan so ewo nyame abusua mu. So compare boy. Near many now bebono. I have empathy so I can't be. Now upon someone says our empathy in here pano. What the niema bebre abesi and quite at war between yen and the atinka yenya ma for a braya dear a shet would dibiemu and our dabremu. And only empathy. Number one, a distraction, busyness, and ration. Why don't we have time for each other? Because we are distracted. Okuno fi ejumamba or yire fi ejumamba and Memphis school aba say obenya daje busa wo ho etesen oda call saying then ekoya nko ye then obeya phone. Now we are better now no afa the mobile phone. Now we are trying no afa the mobile phone. We are busy. Arehosam say there are some of us are on my 28 hours in a day cry. Ebeka to nyame say onfa income. We rush through things. Or yire kasa wo can in tem. Okunu kasa nju pa kire saying, and man kasa I don't have time. I will leave you behind. And I will for kasa mo pe kasa do monka manutu. We are busy people, we are distracted people, and we rush through things. How can we have empathy? Sometimes some of us have been nurtured, we have been groomed to avoid pain. And the arehosam the embassy ebeti ekura about of war. Arehosam ni enijisam they live side by side in life. If you train yourself to enjoy the sweet moments of life, equally train yourself to accept the sorrowing moments in life and the sad moments of life. But you kind of bemensu. And the bema, why nimi and hosam and wana and maninya tinka so beti ni suono a feeling wako. Since you why sterilized, so to say, to pain. And in expressing painful moments in this situation on Tiasia. Nehire expressing painful and sorrowing moments on Tiasia. Say bemen to wajine na ho 15 years, 40 years in on to me why people cry when they shouldn't cry. That's not it. He doesn't see it. Therefore, how can you have empathy when you have blocked your mind to pain? We judge others. It's obviously what they are suffering and how they are suffering from it. And already, sir, we sir, already, sir, so we have to grow this. Oh, sir, so maybe or take us say, oh, sir, the almost category demo. And the say category for radio, almost area, and this will be a swearia. Share Ubusa na Ninji, who saw yes, I for the so swearia, yes, I for the almost area. And no trouble. You see? And the above are we hearing as our phone our James Musuanibia. A real bano swan, Sana Becacheno. Or ma suaria or Southway, your Musuaria, Southway. You are judgmental of other people. Therefore, if you want one advice, people don't need judges, they need friends. We need friends, somebody to tap our shoulder, somebody to offer the shoulder, say, you can lean on me. And where else can we get that if we don't get it from the house? The unconscious bias. In fact, in more professional circles, you find implicit bias. Yankasa yonkophobia nyame nka wo ho a wabuo manim tia dada unhu omokra enso wabuo manim tia wo tirim unhu omokra enso wo de omahye kona bi mu say ma de sebe ma de omunim nyansa mema tenten fo de omuni odo ayi asante fo mema de omunim aware votarians ma de omo ye hard working. These are implicit biases away mu. So and the moment Ambeshia will be of falling into that category in Penwano or for when you have such unconscious bias, deal with them for so many years, how can you feel for people? You become non apathetic to people's problems. Then feeling defensive. Onyaba, and nothing at debiano, unkura bremuno, as ye boo for, and you ye be now kunube catcher or crana. Jai. And I'm here to say, and I'm in a sir, and I'm not kind, and I'm yes, sir, and I'm going sir. And so at the end of the day, one hour yard, Yena Yaka, or be of her. Why is the police near what you be? There will be a police in your channel. I'll say, okay, meaning, sir, I'm a call 80 miles, a breast, I'm a call 70. But police in some who done in Albert told me to me, I have Tomra. You see how people reason. Our real do the BS out. Or could I be a yakano? No, I can find a year the other balance. So now also yes, and be boom any goose. In the logic behind it is say, oh yeah, me boom any goose until so when we made na boo any goose, but yeah, decide you a bobra a better na ye. And that is why we become so defensive. Then be any aggressive. And they be our here and a choir of us on the Kasa, no, and ye. Or of choir a fast on the Kasa, and ye no him, a semi year catching on any here. So what Jais had in a year, choir a fast on Kasa, next time you will like it. But when you are feeling defensive, overtly defensive, tell me, how can you put yourself in people's situation? Now, I know I may drink drinks as if we are. Now, who say, when Yanko Ponja no quaffo pa, ocean in some church, and a susu pepe bakuni. Ah, and then I me ko pepe. 1 John chapter 3, verse 18. 1 John chapter 3, verse 18. Ose me menkuma. Let us not love in word. So kase wo do bia. Me mane nya wa no fafa wo de kase wo do ni pakono. Enya wo ketrema so e kasa ketrema de. Now the one afa ne ho. Yes we dey ne ketrema so e de. No de na no afa ne ho sa o ni se me pewasem. Bible says wo do bia o ka no mane nyo ho. O ka no yo. Nia waka no. Yo sa de no. Love indeed and in truth. So you bet to me at the nucredie and ye dono ya done a dear afofro. Not ya dopi edan a DP chance ye kasana or the one can niema bibri a better tona quem ewofi. We need to love indeed and in truth. Nebra make us a love indeed and in truth. No. So our word love never hono. You therefore a casa omofreno. Agape love, agape, unconditional love, self-sacrificing love, self-denying love, selfless love. That is the kind of love we are talking about. Now, the epitome of that love, no, Jesus Christ. Onona, ebro ne esuafo, omuni na nante abre. Jesus Christ dinti amaye bebi ekwa kodidi. Ye call ya monsensu room na ase keke no bia bre na obi ada ho no atwe ne nan se opese obi foforo ro na ase afi Yesu Kristo wura penin obo ade no ankasa esan so odo ye nti no oyo adwuma e wo odo mo obre ne ho ase odofo se wo som yire a na wa ye den se wo som kunu a na ma ye den se wo som wawofo a wo som ma enye do na Nyankopon hwehwe Yesu Kristo ankasa owura no efa toro bonase ena ofa kruwa hwie nsuo gumo ena Yesu Kristo bre ne ho ase esan so do ye nti no ohofro ye nase se won so do yire a enya wa no na ade beka aya ohofro ne nase bra ho ase manom tie ne kasa woni ne nkambom wafisa mu ye nipa baako se wo do wukunu a aya won so ohofro ne nase bra ho ase manom fa wodo sonko manom fa nidie manom efise ye nipa baako se ye do ya wofo do ye ma ebe bre ye ho ase dia mom owura Yesu Kristo wie no asem okai ne se mo frɛ me owura na dia me yie mo afɛrefɛre na mo tibu abumufo dia ene ma mamon hwɛso se mo mammo a mo gye se mo kro no mo bre mo ho ase sara enya no nko a owura Yesu do ye nti okwase dia no so eku wu enim guase ewuo ede mai. Imagine for once say Yesu say me do we mu but me wu ma me do but me wu ma me do. How would we have found remission and reconciliation with God? But Yesu do ye nti no Yesu Kristo kwa sendia na so hwe senya nkofo twa nimpre etiti ntosi ogu ne so odo in action say eja don't account what they are doing, don't put it into the account, don't blame them, blame it on me. If you say wonim nyawoye, this is real love. Say you do ya hu ewe busuemu a odofo ye beye te se na Yesu Kristo ye do no enya anofafa edo akwanwefo say you do ya hu wonyam ye busuemu a michia na asafo mu a ye do no enya anofafa mado ye ne nia wo sere besere ye ne wo mu di arewo ebedi arewo sa odo we bi na wonyankopon hwehwe odo eni nipa mu yiyimu odo a ewusoaso afoforo ne so a odo a yenina yidi yebomu na yenina kwamane yebomu. This is odo a wonyankopon hwehwe say edu de bi na wo bie o Bible na wo kan a wo kan 1 John chapter 3 verse 8 now. Remember the word empathy. Jesus Christ is the epitome of empathy. Ma men tuma din si niema ensia bi so yebetumi aye sene ebeya yebenya empathy yibi yedi ye ho be sha foforo tibie mu na yegyina ho ama wo mo ate won ase ahwehwe se yebeti wo ase chance yebebu wo maten. Number 1 is accept flaws. Order for Mr. Ebusua na utim no anya abofo e na wo ne omaware anya abofo ma e na wawo mo e na anya obofo nso na owo wo ne wawofo nkita mudie no kai se wawofo anya abofo. Every person has flaws and imperfections. Nara obia won nyanso nanso bi e won ho. And you can't ever force a person to change. Minim say December beba wan kasa ba kwesere onyame se onyame bo amena mesesa. Nanso do 3rd January na wan hu say honhom no epenso ho na my week. Order for the fact is say wuntumi sesa wo ho means that you cannot change anyone. Bible says how can a leopard change his skin? No, onyame pe na di change ba. So you can't ever force a person to change. Therefore, you must date somebody who has flaws you can live with or even appreciate. That's what Warren so dear. Get used to the flaws and imperfections of your wife or husband. So what Warren, get used to them because they are not going away. Get used to them. There are things that only Pakonankasa struggle to live with. There are things that only Pakonankasa struggle to get away from Islam until say you may have to live with them. And the other four, say only what for daily who say there are flaws you must accept. There are imperfections you need to put up with. So only one mind daily who say there are flaws to accept. There are imperfections you need to adjust to. And I make sure I do so. Now, I need just to say, our perfections may attract us to one another. And therefore, yes, pepe your name may be a unity. Also, Usia will be a or say it's in Tibet a pen. Also, send or din in Yama to 2 unity. Send or Casanity. A perfect. The perfect things will attract us to our spouses, but it is our imperfections that decide whether we will stay together or not. But say you only pakwa ya adua kosi ne so bekoso atena kosi so owu betete yentem ana Yesu Kristo bebano. It depends on how the person adjusts to our imperfections. So opportunity as here and the imperfections hold marriages together. Imperfections. And you say, oh warrior, we bebu na warrior. Efutu oni hwehwe obi a obehu imperfections no. Na wagia tumu say sanya wotibia mepe osa because one way or the other, by and large, it will show up. Attraction will be based upon your perfection, but whether you stay in marriage for long or not, it depends on how the person accommodates and cope or compromises or adjusts to your imperfections. Number 2, we need time apart. Yenya adwimbi ewo yenyi mu say our for there esi ye niema bom eye no kre esi ye ko ba bia bom eye no kre but do mmiri bia we shouldn't forget to say we are individuals first before we came together. Unim say the ma oyire ekondo wo ana ukunu enho wadwen na ni be si wo so eye who you were eno nti na attract no but our you do the bia ye mu bebre ye mistake na mistake na ye na say me pese me sesa me ho te yet say de mikunu ana me yere se ne wote forgetting say o sesa no na niema na ope enunti ena ma ka mu bom in the first place no sa niema no na u change in nkete afa bedu mmiri bi no you become somebody who has a stored character mama kan say subaya ya to was stored. Now you need time apart. Accept your independence and then for kind of me time. You need me time. Time be you yourself and alone with yourself in a secluded place or isolated place for some time. Accept your independence. Maintain some hobbies or interests that are uniquely yours. Have some separate friends. Our phobia wa just say ya ti ase ni kunu namfo ni na person force ne ho afa mo ni na namfo. Ne yiri namfo ni no person force ne ho sa fa mo ni na namfo. Say eboa ware ne dia ensehwe, but I tell you along the line you are going to lose your distinctive feature. Now when you lose this and your however take an occasional trip somewhere by yourself. One kasa, think about yourself. Say, this is who I am. Re-evaluate yourself. Say, anticipation be aspirations be an hour. What has come? How are you faring in them? Remember what made you you and what drew you to your partner in the first place. The problem with allowing your identity to be consumed by a romantic relationship is that you change to be closer to the person you love. You cease to be the person that fell in love, that they fell in love with in the first place. As we try to change, you know, change yeah. But we change it too much. Nanka enya bone, but essence of person so odofu bi eninti no. Ma menye to say send ya woye no. And so na wote send na wote nanka enya bone. That is what made you you. But as you try to change day by day, no, a time comes, you become a caricature. Okay, one kasa no, utibia no, enye sa na tibim, umpe ne sa bim, enye sa na huni bim. Now, also attraction for others. But I say me tie pa. Ye wiase a yewi, Nyankopon ba ye ni. Sa anyway, ade a efe yenim. Ewo mu se wa ware de, e se do attention, any wa affection ni na ema wo yere, ema wo kunu. But that doesn't mean say the natural tendency say ye be hu ade bi a efe, onipa bi a ne ho ofe, ana say obi a wa sha atade kama no, ye be hu na ye be kamfo no. That doesn't mean say ye kamfo ne pani agbo adwaman. We are capable of finding multiple people attractive and interesting at the same time. And it is inevitable. And your life, sanity. One can say, news now, TV. One day also read an attire, one year. You have a sense of beauty, aesthetic values. Who will be woman? A dear fair your affair, a dear time so your time. The fact is, one doesn't mean, say, who couldn't have no, ye Mr. Universe. Yeah, can't handsomeness, Obia, Antono, and now you know, on no yeah, beauty queen will be say. There are many ways, Ubehun conform who fair eche wukunu, Ubehun conform who fair eche. Appreciating them is inevitable, but in our decision to act on the attraction is a problem, and that one is preventable. So when you are attracted to idea the fact is say we inhibit who say no idea then so me quine na. This is the problem here. And yet attraction now edu miribia ye attack attraction. It is not the attraction, it is our self-control to know say it is a self-control to know say so self-control and no necessary ye ekoso. Now edu miribi na okay kasa attraction any appreciation aesthetic values no okasha unim die esi the more wo kasha no ebedu miribi no wo yere ebe busa wo say atare abashi efa na kra say efa enyefe because you are too neutral or aesthetic sense no they are too neutral hwenya ofe and hwenya time. When you dumping these impulses, attraction or any appreciation of the beauty in the world towards other people, you dumping them towards your partner as well. You are killing a part of yourself, and it ultimately only comes back to harm your relationship. And so don't focus on the attraction, focus on your action towards the attraction. And no, and I also control. Now, mekana and say nyame hu muti obi mu a onyankopon e man self-control. After set reasonable boundaries. Therefore, time does not control you. Unu obi bon komo na esese oye bibi wo fie, oye bibi ma wo yere, oye bibi ma wo kuna. Tell who say me the phone na to Facebook time e twem, Skype e twem, Zoom time e twem, WhatsApp time no e twem. Tell yourself that you are not a slave to time. God created time as a resource to be used. We are not slaves. But we will not be a sen at that day. Now, and at 10, 11, 12, midnight. Now, new obi bon come on, and a new crew, and a man with Yandy BS or Yama. Obi to me, yes, I know the idea is on us. Is it because a bon come on, sir? Therefore, you are not a slave to time. Use time rather. Don't let time use you. Set a boundary on chat. Then I made to me, Madame for Barbiaka, Madame for Bemebiaka. Then I mean to me busu afwaka. Then I mean to me busu afwaka. Set your boundary. What time should I go on social media and what time shouldn't I go? Set the boundary for yourself. Movies ben and a time ben and movie. Set time for yourself. Time ben and time ben and set time for yourself. Reasonable boundaries. And now for 4 being and as when do I interact with my friends and when do I invite them home or when do I visit them? Set reasonable boundaries for yourself. And how do I deal with my relatives? Now me can say, oh, now you live to satisfy the needs and the wants of Webusu. And the problem about nuclear family, you need to have a boundary. Boundary. And they say, Mema and some if you Mebusuyama, one year, Webusia, Media Shemisan, Mema and some if you know, enter me. And come Busiamu, and I mean Mamma Busia, Tintimbia no money, me papa me ma me me wa fa sin monsem no. Me ma and also a boom fameso, and man me say, me do me die, and wo Busia. And two did and we maintaining balance. Empo and squire, yenya bre ema yema, compared to time by enema, your spouses. We need to have a boundary. And ya man no awari or ye, tieni, on worry, o mano, ukuru. And at the end, they will leave, and it will be only the two of you. You, your husband, you, your wife, and Jesus. And we need to set boundary. Time yenya dajema nkorano. Aya refusem ne say awarefo bebrenya omo me time omo kwakwan so wompa eyimpaso empaso agudie no. Afi na be ma bi be kai akora bi ne babi asem obusa no no aka we yesa na enhomwa ni nyina wa mana teko na okunu bi oyiri bi busa ni kunu ade bi emfa piem ho enkomodie emfa ho na efa nkora no. Let us set a boundary. When we talk about children, we should have time for them, and when we talk about ourselves, we should have time for ourselves. Sometimes the only thing that can make a relationship successful is ending it at the necessary time. Men mani yini odofo Bible say why no betumi afa eja egu na boss wo mu a ensinatare. No, we are there special. Into the eja edi agora kai hu say enum bi a ebirmeti or say fire will burn you. If you play with fire, fire will burn you. I'm say Rastafari be reggae bi enum bi. Or say fire will burn you if you play with fire, it will burn you. And don't sell yourself short. You say there's a boundary. Now cross a boundary now. The consequences will be damaging. Now, let honesty reign. Let honesty reign. One will say, yes, ma wa trap be wa ebusuamu. Obebusa will say, hey, matari we. Osha, come fine. Now, cause hey, as I tell you, well, there's always a quite answer beer. Or when you say, and it's all boss. But remember, yes, I'm mistaken. And to a mistake, but come ye no me and son, next time they be busa ni biema. Then they pay you no catch them. Then you couldn't pay you no catch them. But of when we build our relationship on dishonest assessment of ourselves, the results will be damaging for all of us. But let honesty reign in your marriage. Build your ebusia upon values. Satisfy the needs of people, not what they want to hear, but what they need to hear, and build your relationship upon trust. So honesty when our highest priority is to always make ourselves feel good or to always make our partner feel good, then more often than not, nobody ends up really feeling good. And our relationships fall apart without us even knowing it. If you say, any edia, onyankopon ebeshira ya wale, obeshira ebusu yemutina. Now, solution etwato a metwe adwe esisu say, let some conflict slide. Odofo nye nsem ni na ese wudi ekire. Enye nsem ni na ese adagye ka. Ebi ba se na bae no jai manenko. But yebusuafo mu, yekunu bi mu, ye yere no mu bi, ye mba bi mu anya awofo, bi ebetwa wani so biara, agye se aka ho asemansa. Ade bi ebesi biara, ehun hia, gye se aka ho asem. Na ye ka ho asem so no se atete ne se, woni nkunu yere kasa ahomache na wa frɛ wo mo. Na ne o makasa. Enti ahomache nipa na da no. Na afi na kwesi sorry, ekuya sorry. No abo asem bi so. The first response is the assembly. You see, trivial issues, let it slide. Non-consequential habits, let it slide. Irregular personal traits. Nipan wan shada no ye, eye baku pena beye ntumu, enye saa no tie, eye bibi na koba asa, ena nchinka ne di anini, enye saa no tie, let it slide. Trivial issues. And some and said ni and to us one and so body biano, let it slide. Now Sembia Obeka, you should have married an angel. I don't know angel cry. You should have married Ebiana Mebasa Koroneba because angel problem somewhere before. I know your mistake. Nipa your mistake, but mistakes be back. Now and whom so on and ya can now and say here. And you be beyond see and kunya eka. Masema bidi jawo ekatwodi. Ese successful couples accept and understand that some conflict is inevitable, that there will always be certain things they don't like or know or understand about their partner, or things they don't agree with, and that is fine. As you say, ye worry about omo enyo moteno bibi wo ho a wo ye adwin bi wo ho a wo dwene omo hwe wiase differently from us, omo responding to stimulus differently from us, omo yam hye omo differently from us, omo think different from us. Na sande mbi and I say say ye ni ya dofo mu etna omo perception and ye different, and that is why we need empathy. Someone tears yes there, your tension will never end. But so tears yes there. Kediam ponyankopon and the empathy ebetu akubem. Na afei die, ubemu se, what do I know beka se what do yiri? What do I know beka se what do ukunu? What do I know beka se what do ma? What do I know ebeka se what do wawofo? Na wunduma nso ebe di adanse yese odo na ode wano kan no. Eno na ode ye aduma. Ma kediam ponyankopon ema ye numu kasa. Any enko pepepe ewe busua setere mu Yesu Kristo di mu. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. That Eradi ase also for Eradi Israel. I was somewhere